Forget it. I was thinking of something else.
Adam, what do you think about what I just said?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the numbers. They do pay in.
Well, you got to listen. They're not paying in. That's what the whole argument is.
No, they are paying in, except that some of them are not paying what they're supposed to be paying.
Yeah,
they're paying what they can.
So then, if they're supposed to be paying, they're not paying. That means they're not paying. I know,
but they are talking about having, that's recognized. I don't think anybody argues about that. In fact, Angela Merkel from Germany, she said they need to. Germany, they all need to do a better job of supporting NATO financially.
That's what Trump is saying. I mean,
but that's because
Europe says it's no good.
Europe is going through exactly what America went through back in 2007 and 2008 into 2009. They're going broke. They can't afford it. This is why across Europe you have this back to nationalism with in France. Okay, I forgot her name. Her father, was
Le Pen.
Le Pen, yeah. Le Pen. Okay, and Merkel is having her problems. Europe is going through a terrible time right now, and of course, the fact that the refugees are pouring in because there's no place for them to go, and they can't afford to support them. This is making the countries go more towards nationalism, which is what happened in Nazi Germany after the Weimar Republic. Okay, the Democratic Republic failed. Hitler took advantage of it, and he played it up, and he looked for a scapegoat. His scapegoat were the Jews. Okay, Jewish intellectuals living in Germany never thought that it would get to that point that we saw in Germany with concentration camps and gas chambers. The ones who had the foresight to get out got out. The ones who stayed, they got stuck and they wound up being killed.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I hope that we're not headed anything like that. But that Europe is definitely going through not just financial issues, but political issues.
Just like we are.
Well,
but you see, the political is an offshoot of the financial. That's the problem.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the large
influx,
the large immigrant population.
That's it.
These the big countries, France, and Germany, and Western Europe. Okay, they really have a very large population of
even
immigrants, and a lot of them are Muslim immigrants, and they're destabilizing the society.
Even in parts of England that led to Brexit. Okay, the problem is. I'm having a senior moment here.
So should we stop some of the?
Well, in Britain, you got two different things as far as they didn't like the fact that so many Europeans were coming to England, to Britain.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say. What I wanted to bring out was the fact that in the United States, our immigrants, who, by the way, go through quite a vetting process. I watched a PBS special that showed roughly in an encapsulated 2 hours the vetting process, the 2 years that it takes for people before they can come to this country. Okay, it's not like they just decide to get on a boat and come over, all right? But in this country, we integrate our refugees, and right now I'm talking about the Muslim refugees, okay? So they feel like they're part of America. In France and in Germany and even in some portions of England, they're ghettoized. They're forced to live in certain areas. They don't feel like they're part of the country. Okay? And it's not like it is here.
That's
Do you,
true.
do you, do you know that
Well,
we have?
but also they have been getting much larger
Influx of people.
numbers, proportionately, percentage.
Right,
also
compared
much
to us.
larger
You're
than
right.
we had.
You're right.
I mean, and they're all coming through Germany. She's letting them in, and then they leave Germany. They go all over the place. You know, they're not forced to stay in Germany because it's open borders there.
Right.
Turkey.
And France and England already have a large population.
But like I said, they're forced to live in certain areas, so they're ghettoized. They're not made to feel like they're really part of the country.
Well, listen, they tend to want to. They tend to live that way. I mean, even in the United States, the Somalians all live in Minneapolis somewhere in one area. They all go there.
Well, back during the turn of the 20th century, okay, you had Polish immigrants going to Chicago, okay, to New York, big cities, to Detroit, okay, wherever they felt comfortable, wherever they knew that there was an influx of their own kind. All right, so they can feel a little bit at home. In New York, you have Brighton Beach, where you have the Russian immigrants, and the stores all have Russian,
Chinatown,
or Chinatown, or
Korean town,
Little Italy,
Irish town, Little Italy,
Germantown. There was all this is now you're going back to the beginning of the 20th century. Over the last 120 years or so, they've all become Americanized. You don't see any advertisements for jobs where it says, Jews and Irish need not apply, okay? Or as they like to say, apartments for rent, no pets and no Jews, or no pets and no Irish. It almost forced people back then to live in shtetls or ghettos, until they were able to afford to better themselves. And then you have the growth of suburbs.
Well, I think this. What do you think about putting in a free zone?
Who's going to protect it? That's the problem.
Oh, it's got to be protected by a few different nations.
It would have to be.
Well, I think everybody, all those NATO countries would rather have in a different place.
When it came to the refugees, Trump did say one thing that made a lot of sense to me. He said a lot of the refugees are men, and they're able-bodied men. So why can't they be trained like in World War II? Before Truman integrated. Yeah, build the wall. In World War II, Truman integrated the American forces. But before then, you had black units. You had your Tuskegee Airmen, who you could match with almost any white airman, of the time, who wanted to fight for this country. All right? Let the Syrian immigrants who are able-bodied and strong enough be trained, and let them fight for their land. Why do we have to fight for it?
Now, tell me the difference between a refugee and an immigrant.
No, I'm talking about
I'm
immigrants.
asking you, what's the difference between a refugee and an immigrant?
I think they're interchangeable. Well, immigrants are people who stay in one place. All right, they adopt a way of life.
Immigrant is somebody who wants to, the technical definition is somebody who wants to immigrate to another country. Refugees are forced out of the country. They're waiting for things to straighten out so they can go back. to that country. That's what a refugee is supposed to be. Now,
So let them fight for their land. Let them go back and fight.
Know what I was going to say? Do you think most of them want to go back, even though they claim to be refugees?
Well, you can't throw them out. That's the problem. That's what Trump is saying.
He's not
they're
saying
all
to
here.
throw them out.
Huh?
He's not going to talk about them.
I keep hearing, when he talks, and at the town hall yesterday or the other day with Paul Ryan, a couple of people got up. One woman who unfortunately lost her son, to an illegal immigrant who was supposedly deported 3 times and came back. He was a cop. And he was on the way home from work, and he got into a head-on collision with the guy who happened to be drunk also at the time. And she starts talking about building the wall. That's a friggin' pipe dream. You really think that's going to get done? People actually believe that shit. Build a wall.
That was already proposed like 6 or 10 years ago. It's already approved to do it.
Trump says, who's going to pay for it? Mexico. CNN just did a thing in Mexico. They had a news person interviewing, Mexicans in Mexico City, and they interviewed politicians, and they interviewed Nieto, whatever his name is, the president. And they all laughed when they said, "You're going to pay for the wall." And they said,
"Do you think they're going to actually physically give them the money? He's going to impose a tariff on them, a 5% tariff, a 10% tariff to go towards the wall, building the wall. That's how it's going to be done."
Hey, Mark.
Yep.
Hey, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take it you're upset at the policy, my immigration policy that Trump wants to support, right? You're not really on par with that. You think it's not good for the country to do that?
Well, I don't agree with, look, I consider myself a liberal and a progressive, but I won't go as far as San Francisco or New York, who has open borders where, hey, come on in, folks, I mean,
Right.
we just don't have room.
But Mark, let me ask you this question. So if Trump came up with a plan to build a wall so that people don't just come into our country, they have to come in legally, would that be a reasonable thing to you?
Yeah, but you know something? The wall is just a symbol.
If you knew the wall would work, but most everybody that knows that business don't think the wall is going to do much. That's the deal.
No,
I don't think the wall's going to do much.
I don't think that we have to hang every word, though. Hold on one second. I don't think we have to hang every word that Trump says. I think what his point is, though, is we need stronger borders, and we do. We can't just let people in the country who are coming in illegally, because if they are, we can't keep track of them. They're somehow getting funds, or and they can just hide here. We don't know who they are.
You see, Chad, they talk about vetting. All right, the ones that are coming in vetted, the immigrants.
Well, those are two different things. You're talking about people who are entering illegally and immigrants who are coming in legally. That's two different things. Completely two different topics.
Right. Those people are coming in legally. Who they are.
Nobody's got an issue with them.
Yeah, hopefully.
Nobody has an issue with illegal immigrants.
To keep track of them.
Right, exactly. And I don't have a problem with that. I think that's important.
Listen, nobody has an issue with that.
Let all nations come into our country. I'm fine with that. It's when it's the people that come in who we can't keep track of and we don't know exist. They could just be milling around about, and there's got to be thousands of them just hanging out in the country.
Well, you're right. They're invisible.
Some of them, they're invisible. They're causing problems and terror, and we can't keep track of it. That's what happened with the Boston Marathon runner people. They're just a couple guys who are here illegally.